Hey everybody, Brendan here. Welcome back to the channel. We are doing kind of a revisit of a project we did previously, and that is on Joan Jetta, our black Mark IV Jetta, we put in one of these, the RCN-210 Bluetooth Stereo. This is a factory radio that is not available in the US, but it works really well with our US cars. And if you've got an older car like my son's Mark IV Jetta here, this is a great component to do an OEM plus up swap and upgrade for a better experience. So let's see how hard it is to install.
Previously on Battlestar Galactica.
The deal with these things is, in other world markets other than North America, the Mark IV Jetta is still produced as an ongoing thing. And Volkswagen is still making stereo head units that are more modern that work with it. So if you have one of these or one of these in your Mark IV, you can upgrade to this. The RCN-210 BT, it's a dual DIN factory Bluetooth stereo. It sounds really good. I was kind of amazed, like, because this one, it sounds all right. I mean, it's a tape deck, and it did the CD controller thing, and it was all right, but not spectacular. This one was a little bit better sounding with the same speakers, but you know, still not spectacular. And the new one is really pretty crisp and clean. I'm really impressed with it. It's not gonna be, you know, like a Kenwood or a Blancpain or something like that, but it's for a factory unit that's inexpensive and it just works as a plug-and-play thing that you can install yourself in 5 minutes at home. It's a great option. On the lines of that plug-and-play thing, here's one thing you need to know. If you have one of the older units, like this, on the back, it looks exactly the same as the plugs that you're gonna see in the RCN-210. However, you need to have one of these little pigtails in between, even though it will physically plug in. The reason being, in the modern platform that is being sold elsewhere in the world, there is a connectivity thing that tells the stereo that the key is turned on, because it won't activate Bluetooth unless your key is turned on, even though you can turn on the stereo. This little pigtail fixes a little wiring issue and lets your stereo work. It lets the Bluetooth physically work. So even though you might have your key turned on here and the car is on and the stereo is on, the Bluetooth would not work unless you have this. If you've got the newer unit, it's gonna have a different pigtail harness that does the same thing. Again, it's plug and play. It just takes a couple minutes. So we're gonna walk you through it right now, show you how easy it is, and I'll provide a link in the description where to get the radio and the $5 set of tools that you need to install it. As we mentioned before, I've already put one of these in our Mark IV Jetta in my daughter's car, Joan Jetta, our black rock and roll Jetta, and it's great. It's been it's been so much of an upgrade compared to the factory stereo that came in it. What came in it was the single DIN tape deck unit, which you could also have CD changer control in the trunk. That was all right, but it didn't really sound that great. It was kind of mid-rangey and if you wanted to use a modern phone with it, you had to use a Bluetooth adapter with a cassette, and that also sounded blah. Or you had to spend a whole lot of money for a GROM unit. Now, when these came out, the RCN-210, they were selling and still are selling at some auto parts suppliers for like $400, $500, even $600, $700. But I'm gonna drop a link in the description. You can pick these up for under $120 now on Amazon. Got a reputable seller. I've gotten 2 of them from the same seller, very happy. And I'm gonna show you step by step how to install it today. It's really not that hard. I mean, how hard could it be, right? I managed it. One thing you want to note when you unbox this is it is going to come with a couple of these tools for removing the radio. However, you need 2 tools for this one to go in and do the thing, but you need 4 if you have the factory radio that is in most modern Mark IV Jettas. And if you have the older radio, you might need these tools. So rather than use these ones, which by the way, I'm glad that it comes with the kit, but they're really sharp. They're very bendy and flexy. It's kind of a single-use tool. You'll probably want to throw them away afterwards because you stand a pretty good chance of cutting yourself because the edges are so sharp. So not really recommend with these, but you can pick up a set like this on eBay for like $5 that has the keys to work with different kind of cars. So definitely recommend that instead. To remove the original stereo requires 4 of the keys that go into these slots. Now, the kit that you get with this stereo comes with 2 keys, but you need 4. I'm going to drop a link in the description. There's a set of 4 keys you can get on Amazon for about $5, and they will get the job done. So here's how it works. Each of these keys is going to go into a slot, and you want the angled part of the key pointing inward on the stereo. So angles in from the outside, and on one of these stereos you can just basically slide it along the outside edge, push it in until it clicks. Once you have it in there, you should be able to just pull the stereo out like that. It releases the things holding it in, it releases the clips, and you can just pull the stereo out. Now, you do want to make sure you don't have any CDs in the stereo or tapes in the stereo before you unplug anything. So they will eject while it's still plugged in. As soon as you unplug it, there's no hope. So do that first. On the back side of the stereo, the factory one, you've got a few connections. There's the radio connection, the antenna, which is over here. Just unplugs from that big connector. Over on this side, there's a big lever type deal where you need to squeeze it, release the lever upwards. It's right here, you squeeze, and then the lever comes up, and that's going to release this whole wiring harness that is plugged in back there. So pulling upward on the lever releases, and we don't want that. And then we should pull this whole thing out of the way, and then that should release the stereo. Boom. Now, in order to install the new stereo, which has different connectors, these are the older style DIN connectors compared to the newer style radio. So we're installing this on a 2003 Mark IV, and it's got the newer style. So there's going to be an adapter harness, which looks like this. And it's very plug and play, kind of simple. So one end of it goes into the stereo. Let's see, that's like this. And when it plugs in, you'll pull the lever closed. So I'm gonna show you up close here. Can make sure this lever is open. plugs in. Lever open all the way. And as you plug it in, the lever comes closed. There, that's ready. Then on the other side, here, you can only plug them in one particular place. They won't plug into the wrong positions. So pretty easy plugging those guys into the back of the radio. And then the radio harness plugs in like that. All happy. And we're going to want to make sure that the harness tucks. He's got this harness adapter, so we're going to have to tuck it a little bit out of the way inside here to make sure that the radio is going to fit snugly. There should be plenty of room underneath the radio for this harness adapter to fit. So basically, as long as you've got it tucked underneath, you shouldn't have any fitment worries. Okay, slide it back till it clicks. It's in place. Pressing the power button on the Mark IV should get us turned on. So we're in AM mode. Yes, wonderful AM static, so that's fantastic. Hit the radio mode, let's go to FM, and we can scan and find a station that is suitable. Let's see. Oops. All right, so we have functional radio. Great. Now, the big part that we want here, of course, is the Bluetooth. So here's how to connect your Bluetooth to your iPhone. Let's take it. It's very simple, and we'll get it up and running. We want to get the Bluetooth connected. So where you go is the media menu, Bluetooth, and it's going to say, oh, no Bluetooth audio. What do we do? All right, so we've got functional radio happening here. In order to connect our phone, we go to phone. Up here, pair. And that's going to show up now down here on our Bluetooth menu in our phone. Hit the VW radio that shows up there. Yes, connect it. And on our phone we say yes, pair. I'm going to allow all my stuff to connect. And there we go. We are connected. We've got good connection. Yay. So now I want to listen to my Bluetooth stuff. I'm going to hit media, Bluetooth, and it's showing it pause because, well, it's paused. So I go to my radio here on the phone, and we should have. Great, and I can't play it because, you know, copyright, licensing, and all that, but we are functional. That's how you get it up and running. So that's it. I hope you enjoy. I hope that this was pretty easy to follow along, and yeah, go treat yourself. It's a new year. If you've got one of those old CD or tape units and you're using some janky Bluetooth adapter to get in your phone to the old system, this is so much better. So much better. Do it. All right. God bless you. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless. Bye-bye.
And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to say goodbye. We'll be back.